All right, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. What is going on? It is Boss Man Spencer, aka Isaiah from Ascent Sports, and also Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers podcast. Links in the description. Anyway, welcome back to another episode. Now, this is not a normal episode. This is going to be kind of like the bye-week special episode where I just, kind of just talked about the Steelers. This is going to be another episode. And it's probably going to be a longer-ish episode. So once again, that's what the podcast apps are for. If you can't sit through the whole video on YouTube, because I know sometimes that can be tough, the podcasts are available. So boom, there you go. And honestly, this could be something going forward. I got out of work a little early today, and it left me with some time. And maybe every week. This isn't going to be, and once again, it's like a week preview, right? Because we're going against the Ravens, but I'm going to get to some other topics that have been going on throughout the week. I have the topics listed on YouTube. If you guys are watching on YouTube, you can see I have the topics listed right there. But I'm also probably going to ramble. So once again, maybe this could also become a weekly thing on top of the Steelers, game recap videos, because I try to keep those not shorter, but I try to just only talk about the game and stuff and the current season that's been going on. And so those ones are kind of shorter, but I want another form of content where I can just kind of ramble about the Steelers. So I think these videos are gonna be those. So anyway, all that to say, Steelers fans, what's up? 2-game win streak. We got a 2-game win streak, man. Last time I did this going into the bye week, I think we were much worse. We were like 2-something, I think, at the bye. We've been rattling off some wins lately. I think we came off the bye and got the Saints, right? Got them, lost to the Bengals, but then got the next two on Indianapolis and Atlanta, the Falcons. We just played them, obviously. So shit, we're 3-1 in the past 4 games, I think. Hold on, let me confirm that to be true. We're 3-1 coming off the bye. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? That's 4-game stretch, 3-1. We're one of the best teams in the league, So it is what it is. And on top of that, the actual game coming up next week, the preview-ish video, like the game that this is about. Sorry about that. The game that this is about, the Ravens. Lamar is hurt. Lamar's not playing. And on top of that, they've been playing teams kind of close. So, with that said, I understand I should not expect to win. I do expect a win. But I understand that a win is not promised in the NFL. I understand any given Sunday things can happen. I understand that sometimes when the Steelers play backup quarterbacks, we do not play well. I understand that sometimes anybody can run on us. Our run defense isn't the best, so, it's possible, right? But I do expect to win this game. This is a winnable game for us. The Ravens, they've played it, like every game they've played in has been close. And they've lost to some teams that I think were on the same par as, like the Jaguars. They lost to the Jaguars, and shit, we're at least as good as the Jaguars, right? Come on. So they've lost to them. They just played a really close game with Denver, and Denver, their offense is so bad, they're scoring less points than we were at one point. We've been doing pretty good scoring wise the past couple weeks, but we've been doing pretty good scoring wise. But Denver, they've been bad the whole time too. And Russell Wilson, we've talked about him on Ascent Sports prediction videos if you want to go check those out. But we've talked about Russell Wilson a ton. He's not having a good time. So Denver, their offense is not very good, and the Ravens kind of struggled against them. Lamar did get hurt in that game, and they did end up winning. But on top of that, it's not like they've been lighting anybody up either. So with all that said, I think there's a real possibility for us to be 6-7 up to this point. Oh, see, on the topics thing. Look at that. On the topics thing, I don't even have playoffs in the question mark playoffs. Because, hey, once again, I know this win is not promised. And if we drop this game, that really does not help. That really doesn't help our playoff chances. But if we can win this game, 6-7. After that, I don't know who we have after. Should I look ahead to the future, guy? I really don't know if I should be doing this, man. Like we might just get murked and it's all over. All right. Hear me out. We win this game, right, against the Ravens. Okay, that we improved to 6-7. Once again, no Lamar. With Lamar, we've beat him the past, I want to say 4 to 6 times, or no, because he's been hurt in a bunch of our games too. But the past, let's say 3-4 times with Lamar, I'm pretty sure we've beaten him. So Lamar plays, it is what it is. Once again, we haven't lost to the Ravens since Mason and Duck were playing at quarterback for us. We haven't lost to them since then. So I'm expecting a win. Like I want to ride this winning streak. It's the same thing with the Colts. Like we've been beating the Colts for the past like decade now. So I expect to beat the Colts. The Ravens, hey man, we've won the past 6-7 games against them. Let's get that win. Lamar, no Lamar. I expect to get that win, right? So we beat the Ravens, go to 6-7. Okay? Then we got the Panthers. Hey. No matter what happens in this Ravens game, I expect to beat the Panthers. I don't know if they're going to trade Sam Darnold next. I don't know if they're going to release Sam Darnold next. I don't know if they could possibly get the answer at quarterback between now and that game. But I expect to beat them. Then after that, we got the Raiders. That could be tough. That could be a tough game. But the Raiders, they're not the best either, low key. Like I think Devontae Adams is gonna absolutely destroy us, but winnable game. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a winnable game, okay? But okay, say we lose, so that's what 7-8, and then Ravens and Browns again. We've beaten the Ravens a lot, and the Browns can't sweep. They can't sweep us, bro. No way the Browns sweep us. So hey. Those are some wins, I think. I think the schedule definitely looks positive, at the very least. It looks positive for us, especially because we're already 3-1. We're already riding hot. So, hey, could be something, but it is what it is. We definitely will see what happens in this Ravens game because this team is very, very prone to play down the competition. And I shouldn't say play down the competition because the Ravens, I want to say, are like have 7-8 wins at this point, right? The Ravens are a pretty good team. Yeah, they got 8 wins. They're 8-4. So they are technically better than us, but no Lamar. We've beaten you the past couple games. As a Steelers fan, I'm sorry. Like the past couple years with the Ravens, I think teams like the Browns and the Bengals have kind of taken over as far as like a more louder rival in terms of the AFC North, right? Because it used to just be the Ravens, because the Bengals and the Browns, they couldn't really do much. The Bengals had that like 2-3 year run with Andy Dalton and AJ Green where they were winning the division but then losing to one of us, or just winning the division, not doing anything. They had like those 2 or 3 years, but for the most part it's been us and the Ravens. And so it's always been smoke with the Ravens. It's always been on with the Ravens. But as of now, because, the playoff game thing with the Browns and then the Bengals, they destroyed us and then fucked around and went to the Super Bowl. And then you got the Vontaze Burfict and AB. And did it start there? That's what everybody be saying. That hit on AB, that's how it started. And then Juju laid him clean out, which, by the way, the game I went to, Juju was suspended. So I missed that. I missed seeing Juju. I didn't see him play for the Steelers, bro. Unbelievable. But yeah, you got that. The Bengals have been a loud rival, and the Browns the past last year. The last year, the Browns fans were pretty loud. Now, I mean, they got Watson, so I don't know what they're gonna do. But for now, like, we're not there, and they did get that win against us, so it's cool. But I think it's over. I think things are back down to normal. They're back down to reality. Once again, they did. You caught us slipping in that playoff game. You really did. You got us. But, I mean, who hasn't beaten us in the playoffs at this point? Like, congrats. Good job, Cleveland. Like, we've lost the past, I want to say, 3 or 4 playoff games. It's been rough. But the Ravens, getting back to the Ravens. The Ravens, it's always been smoke with the Ravens. And I feel, and honestly, as a fan, as I've been watching, they did win that Super Bowl more recently, right? They did get that run, but that might have been the year Tim Tebow happened, and if not, I don't think we were. I don't think we were like really in contention. I don't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head what happened, but I want to say it was either the Tebow year or we just didn't make the playoffs or something. Like it wasn't really a rivalry. Anyway, since I've been watching, I feel like we've gotten the better, I feel like we've gotten the better end. Like I feel like we've been pretty good against the Ravens. They got us in the 14 playoffs, I believe, 14 or 15. They got us there in the wild card round, but other than that, every time there's been a game, even before that too, like mind you, I'm just speaking up from like 2012, 13 of like seriously watching the Steelers, because that's when I like really started watching, right? Maybe even earlier, but I'm gonna just say those years for starters. That's when I really started watching. That's when I really started paying attention to what was going on. Now at the same time, like I've always been a Steelers fan. It's literally always been a thing. And I did use the Vikings in Madden, so like there is some Vikings love, but I promise you it's nowhere close to the Steelers. The Steelers definitely reign supreme in terms of all sports teams, right? So I've always been a Steelers fan, but like I really started watching around then. But I mean we were toppling them on the way to go to the Super Bowl before, so we don't even have to talk about that. I'm talking about from like 2012, 13 up. We've definitely gotten the Ravens more than they've gotten us. I remember, man, you guys remember Christmas, jingle bells, like, come on, man, Christmas, Christmas, Merry Christmas, like, come on, you got that. We were winning the division, more consistent, like from 2016 to like 2018, maybe that's like 2 years, funny enough, but we at one point we had the division on lock a couple years ago, so it is what it is. I feel like we've gotten the better end of the Ravens. So I do always expect to beat the Ravens. All that to say, I always expect to beat the Ravens. That no matter what's going on with our teams, I feel like we have this rivalry. No matter what's going on with our teams, whether if the Steelers are really good, whether if we're on one, right? Or whether the Ravens, if they're really good, if they're on one, when they play, there's no ratings. It just is what it is. Like you're gonna play a physical. You're gonna play a tough game. It's gonna come down to who makes less mistakes and who can capitalize the most. Who can capitalize last. Like it's gonna come down to shit like that. That's normally what happens when we play the Ravens. It's kind of like that with the Bengals and Browns, but once again, man, we used to spank the Browns. We used to violate the Browns. Like, come on, like that one playoff win, I get it. You guys caught us, but really it hasn't even been close. Cool, you guys got us this year. Like you got it. We were scoring 10 points a game. Congrats. We had Mitch Trubisky in. Congrats. Like you got us. But other than that, in the playoff game, like it's been nothing. Like I probably can count on my I can count on my fingers how many times I've seen the Browns beat us in all my years of watching football. So take that for what it is. And then the Bengals, it's whatever. I don't know. Like it's always a weird game. We used to blow them out. Now they kind of smoke us. I don't know. Something crazy happens like with a flag or something. And the Bengals, they used to just throw games away. Now I don't know. I think they've definitely gotten us in more recent, like past two years. I think 2-3 years they've gotten us. So it is what it is. But the Ravens, it's always been smoke. It'll be close. It'll be something. Definitely be something. Expect Minka to make a big play. I expect TJ Watt to come back out firing. I expect our defense to be really good, especially, no Lamar. So yeah, I expect to beat the Ravens. I hope that wasn't too rambly. Honestly, I just realized how long I was kind of going in depth about the Ravens, but it is like it's always been smoke with the Ravens, man. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the Ravens, but I do like Lamar Jackson as a Steelers fan. I wanted the Steelers to draft him at one point. I think Lamar is pretty good. So if he wants to leave, like that would be fantastic. That would be fantastic, Lamar. Please leave. But yeah, I think we should win. I do expect us to win, get us to 6-7. And once again, I did talk about our games coming up. It's not the hardest schedule. I think we can win. Like that Carolina win absolutely positively has to happen. We cannot play any games with that Carolina win because we do need every win at this point. Maybe it's still over. Maybe I'm not really. Hold on, let's look at it. Let's be more realistic about this. So, right now we got the Bills, Chiefs, Ravens, Titans. They're in. Boom. They're winning their divisions. And then there's 3 wild card spots. Right now, I want to say the Dolphins are in automatically because they're 8-4. And then the Bengals are in automatically because they're 8-4, right? And then that third spot right now in the lead, I think, is the Jets. It could be the Jets at 7-5 for that third spot. I think the Jets, at that third wild card spot. That's 7-5 though. We're 5-7. Damn, that is tough. But it's the Jets, bro. Come on, it's the Jets. I don't know, man. I feel like they can mess it up. But even if they don't, there's still like the Patriots at 6-6 who got us. Then you got the Chargers at 6-6 who they didn't get us. The Chargers stink. That's a different topic though. The Chargers aren't that good, which is why they're 6-6. The Raiders, they're 5-7. We'll play them. We'll see what happens. Cleveland and we lost to them, so that's not good. And then the Bengals we split. And then we beat the Colts, so like we'll have that. We're definitely still at the bottom. We definitely are at the bottom. Looking in. But hey, we'll see. And if playoffs doesn't happen, I definitely want to get this winning season now. Like now that because we're 5-7. So if we fuck around and just start getting smoked and like losing every game, like maybe our draft pick will be like really good, like maybe like 5 through 10 in that range. But I was really only thinking about that if we were in the top 3, because that's some shit as a Steelers fan. Once again, like you shouldn't wish to be bad. You shouldn't promote tanking. But shit, at one point we were like locked in at that number 1 pick. Fuck it. Like I've never seen that happen. The players are really good. Let's just roll with that. But now that we're 5-7, we've already, abandoned that. And of course the Steelers would never tank. So, so we abandoned that. Now we're 5-7. We might as well just try to continue Mike Tomlin's winning record, right? We'll get another teenish pick. Maybe, no, I don't think we're probably at this point, I would say 12 through like 19, which I think is a wide range, but I think that's where we're at. If that's completely wrong, then, oh well, but I'm just guessing, man. I'm just guessing. Maybe I should figure out where we are right now currently, and I am going to figure it out. And right now we got the 14th pick. Okay. So I said 12 through 18. Right now we're at 14. I think we'll finish around there. We'll finish in this range. So at this point, go for the winning season. Continue Mike Tomlin's winning streak. And speaking of Mike Tomlin and his winning streak, ready? I'm assuming we've all seen the video. I don't know if that video is gonna get like copyrighted or something. But if you haven't seen the video, pretty much a fan or reporter or somebody is trying to talk to Mike Tomlin while he's walking either in the tunnel or out of the tunnel for halftime, right? And he's like, "Hey, Mike Tomlin, what's up? And Mike Tomlin just looks at him. He's like, "I'm fucking working, man," and like just keeps walking, which I think hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And we ended up winning. And hey, 2-game winning streak, 3-1 in the last 4. He is working. Shit, he is working. Like he let him cook. Like let Mike Tomlin cook. I don't know if that person was supposed to be there because that's what the commentary I saw. Like people were questioning if that person was like even allowed to be back where he was in the stadium and whatnot. I don't know who he was, but I just thought that was really funny, honestly. And I'm not gonna put the video on here because it it is kind of asshole-ish of Mike Tomlin to do that, so I'm not putting the video on here. But like it was a pretty big topic. I think I want to say on Monday or Tuesday. It was pretty funny. It honestly was pretty funny, but it does make him look like kind of an asshole. So it is what it is. I'm not promoting that. I love Mike Tomlin, and I thought that was pretty funny. So yeah. Now, kind of getting back in order how I have it on the topics. That was obviously the first thing I had, and that was just like a quick. We didn't need to go in depth about that. Like nothing's gonna happen. But number 2, the George Pickens situation, because I did say something on the video, the recap video, right? And we got a comment. We got a comment on the video, okay? Which I think at this point, hey, I'll take it. And just to put this out there, if you do comment, you're prone to getting put up on one of these videos, because I did really want to talk about this because he said something interesting. So I'm going to put the comment on the screen, right? And pretty much in my recap video for the Falcons, I talked about the George Pickens situation, and I said that I understand why George Pickens was upset, but like we can't be doing that, right? We can't be doing that. That was my overall point. And then Heir to the Throne, this is the person's name, Heir to the Throne. He left a comment, and it was a pretty long one. So let's go through this. I don't care how good a player is, there is nothing positive about Pickens' antics on the sidelines, and all of the fans who think so are about to create a monster (parentheses diva) that can affect this team. So, first sentence. I agree with that for probably 99% of it, okay? The only thing is I just didn't want to kill George Pickens for this shit yet. Like, I understand having receivers spaz out, especially when the team is winning for the most part. That Falcons game, we pretty much were in control the whole time. We kind of tweaked at the end, but for the most part, we had the lead, and like we were doing stuff. We were moving. So, for the most part, you shouldn't do that. But he wasn't getting the ball, and like I didn't understand. Okay? I didn't understand why he was getting the ball, and clearly he didn't understand why he wasn't getting the ball. So I don't know. But that first sentence, for the most part, I agree. And then this is what he said right here. The second line, and for audio listeners, if anybody's listening to this on audio, I'm trying to read the best I can. So once again, I'm going to start from the top. I don't care how good a player is, there is nothing positive about Pickens' antics on the sidelines, and all of the fans who think so are about to create a monster diva that can affect this team. It's been reported that he and DJ can hardly be in the same room together because they both want the ball, but the real issue for me is the position it puts the quarterback in. That second sentence is a big one. Now, hey, I did not see that Deontay Johnson and George Pickens thing. I did not know there was anything like that. And on top of that, I still don't know that. I don't know that to be true. I didn't look it up. I didn't look into it. Okay. So it is what it is, but I did not know that was a thing. So if you're lying, or if you don't know that, then, you know, you're affecting me. So if you're going to comment and say something like that, please be sure it's the truth. If that's the case, that's crazy. I did not hear about that though, and I feel like it would be a more known issue. Like hardly be in the same room together. That's crazy. That's interesting, because our offense for the most part hasn't been the best overall, and in that same light, like they shouldn't be arguing with each. They shouldn't be mad at each other. They should be mad at the coordination and like what's the play calling. That's what they should be mad at. They shouldn't be mad at each other. Like come on, like, what is it? It hasn't been like that. Like George Pickens has had his games, Deontay Johnson has had his games, but Come on, man. Like, we're like one of the worst offenses in the league. Like, come on. What do you mean? You're mad? They're like because they both want the ball. Like, bro, neither one of you is getting it like crazy. So I don't see how that could even be the biggest issue. Uh, so yeah, if that's the case, then that's crazy. And thank you, Heir to the Throne, for telling me that, because I didn't know. Uh, and then the second part of that is the issue it puts the quarterback in. Honestly, I didn't even really think about that. I did not think about that at all. Kenny Pickett being a rookie quarterback it was nowhere in my head at the say like while that George Pickens thing was happening. Uh, Hopefully that's not directed at Kenny, or I mean it kind of is because he's the quarterback, but hopefully like it can just not affect him. Like hopefully that doesn't become a thing, but that is that is a big thing for like a quarterback wide receiver relationship, especially because they're both rookies. Like you don't want to see that. Like, you want to see them have a connection. And I think it seemed like they did. And once again, this is just one. It was one game. It was one game. But maybe Pickens is still frustrated about like the beginning part of the season where we weren't throwing him the ball and we weren't really playing the best overall. But yeah, obviously you can't do that. And I didn't even think about Kenny. I don't think I talked about him in that situation together. So that definitely is interesting. And then he follows that up with, I promise you that before Tomlin lets this affect Kenny, somebody will have to go, because it's not like year after year, we can't pick good receivers. We certainly are very good at picking receivers. There have always been selfish players on the Steelers who either don't get the ball or enough playing time and then want to be traded. That is also true. But Pickens, come on, we're 7 games in. Not 7 games in. We're like 13 games in, 12 games in. We can't trade him now. I understand that like this normally with receivers is a thing. Like they're very public like with their frustrations a lot. There's countless examples of wide receivers like that. But in the same token, those wide receivers also really are really good for the most part. Like they're really good. Like I'm sorry, they are really good. And I know. You can't let this thing grow. You can't let this thing develop. All that stuff. But we're 13 or 12, 13 games in. We're 12, 13 games into the season. And I'm not even saying that Heir to the Throne. I'm not saying that you are saying like let's get rid of him early if you do end up watching this as well or listening to this as well. But once again, you comment like I'm gonna respond to it. And I feel like this was an interesting topic. So once again, thank you. But I don't think we should explore trading Pickens yet. We gotta at least see what can happen in a better offense and a better system and in a different season. So can't do that yet. Maybe this will become a problem eventually. Maybe it'll kind of be like the AB situation. Because of Antonio Brown, honestly, like I feel like Steelers fans are kind of on edge about the whole, ego thing and whatnot, like, or diva thing, I guess, because that's the word he used. But these are individual personalities, all of them. Like, it isn't like just because that happens, like the one time doesn't mean like it's going to continue happening. And I understand once he kind of had his moments in college, maybe that's why he fell to us. But hey, man, just let's give him a chance. Let's give him a season. Maybe he won't do this anymore. Maybe Tomlin will talk to him. I don't know, man. I don't know. But as of right now, George Pickens is a dog, and we should keep it. Like we shouldn't trade him yet. We shouldn't explore it. We should throw him the ball more. That's what we should try to do. Because I'm going to now talk about something I've been meaning to talk about for a while now. And I've mentioned it before. I've mentioned it in every past video, right? Every past I got a drink. I'm thirsty. Every past Steelers recap, it's always come up, especially recently. Just one second. especially recently. Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson is a player I am a huge fan of. Huge, absolutely huge fan of. I love Deontay Johnson. I love Deontay Johnson so much, in fact, that I said that I would take him over Terry McLaurin. I said I would take him over A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown. This is what I had. This is the admiration I had for Deontay Johnson. Like, when we were bad, when we were a really bad offense, Deontay was carrying. Deontay, especially like in the passing game, like people, because Juju was Juju and like had the TikTok thing, had the off the field thing, he was just a big name. He was just a big name, you know? And when people talked about our offense, you know, they named Juju. And, you know, he did play for us. And I'm talking post AB, post Ben injury year when Ben was back. I'm talking about that, by the way. Juju was, you know, pretty good for us. He was all right. But Deontay got way more catches than Juju, way more yards. I'm pretty sure more targets. I'm pretty sure more I think I said touchdowns. But, it wasn't even close. And if you say it's close and you say you were watching, you're not. Like, you're lying. Like, it wasn't even close. And the same thing with Chase Claypool. It wasn't even close. James Washington, it wasn't even close. Deontay Johnson was doing everything for us at one point as a receiver. And it never got talked about because we weren't the best offense and because we weren't the best team. It never got talked about in other NFL communities. At one point, he had to get like subbed into the Pro Bowl because somebody got hurt because he didn't make it. But in like he had over 1,000 yards. He had like 10 touchdowns. Like it was kind of crazy. I don't know. 10 touchdowns seems kind of nuts, but he had a good season. If you know what I'm talking about, then you know. If you know, you know. Maybe I'll probably put it on the screen for the visual watchers. But if you know, you know. So at one point, Deontay was just absolutely carrying our offense, man. And I respect that. And I, once again, this is once again only football, man. It's just a game, but as a fan, this is I'm talking about what I see. So I always respected that about Deontay. He's a fantastic route runner. He's a beast. He's a beast after the catch. Like he can turn a play. He can turn a play. A 10-yard gain into like a 40-yard gain instantly. Like he's full of that, right? But you guys know what the problem is. You guys know what happens, right? Everybody knows what happens. And it's why he hasn't gotten this recognition. It's why he can't be up there with these people with other receivers. At this point, he could always turn it around. It could his next drop could always be his last drop, you know? His last drop could be his last drop. You know, in the Falcons game, that could have been it. And he did have a great reception at the end of that game. And he's had great receptions his whole career. He's had great catches. He's had great plays for us. He's always been good for us. But these fumbles and these drops and not running for the first down, taking a positive play and making it a no yard gain or a negative gain. Like Deontay is very prone to do that. And I don't know. At this point, because he also, not only is he's a really good receiver once again. We know that. We know what he is capable of when he's not dropping the ball or fumbling. And not only does, that happen, but I feel like he also just represents a point in time on the team where it was just not fun for us. Like we weren't a good looking offense. The games were very, very, very hard to watch at some points. Like, I'm just going to be honest. Very hard to watch at some points. I just feel like he's a part of that. He is a part of it. We drafted him the same year Ben got hurt. And that was his rookie year with Mason and Duck. And like since then, like our offense has just hasn't been the best. And so I feel like he's just a part of that. And so with that said, if we did end up getting rid of him, like it wouldn't hurt like I thought it would. I thought it was gonna. Like when we were talking about like re-signing him or not re-signing him, I was like, man, what are you talking about? Like re-sign him. Like I feel like he earned it. He did earn it. Like people just forget and like it's like, oh, he's overpaid or whatever. Maybe right now because we have George Pickens, and we'll see what happens with him. But I feel like he earned it. He did earn it for what he had to put up with when you have Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, and Big Ben post arm surgery and Matt Canada. I feel like he earned it. Hey, if you're not going to get recognized by the Pro Bowl, if you can't be on any kind of rankings thing, if they're always just ranking you wherever the fuck, like wherever, if they're always just doing that to you, like just disrespecting you, fuck it, take the money. Like here, for your troubles. But at this point, man, I don't know. I want to get something for him. I don't want him just to like. I don't want him to just like leave in free agency. And that is very, I guess, selfish as a fan of the team versus like being a player, because he can't like pick who he gets traded to. Maybe we could work something out, but at this point, and I was thinking about this, man. I really was. If Chase Claypool was a second round pick, or if that's what he got as a second round pick, I feel like Deontay has to at least be a first. Maybe just because people don't want to give up first, maybe a team wouldn't do it. But I feel like Deontay has a higher package. And if that's a pause, then pause. But I feel like Deontay Johnson has to be worth more on the trade market. And so with that said, hey, I don't know, because there's some pretty good receivers this draft. Once again, and we're pretty good. Like Heir to the Throne said, we're pretty good at drafting receivers. We all know that. So, hey, I don't know. But, I mean, the second round pick for Claypool is still going to be clutch. And Deontay, once again, we know is pretty good. And if we keep him, I don't mind it. But, George, we gotta start giving George Pickens more reps. We can't just be having games where he's not even targeted. That can't happen. So we'll see. We will see. But Deontay, at one point, I was a really huge fan of. I was defending him through like the drop situation because I kept telling people like, hey, but he's also like this good. He's also doing this. But I don't know. He can't be AJ Brown at this point. Or even Terry McLaurin at this. Maybe Terry McLaurin, man. I don't know. Sometimes I have Terry McLaurin on fantasy, and I know this isn't a good judge, but it is what it is. I have him on fantasy, and sometimes I do regret having Terry McLaurin. But that could just be a quarterback thing. I don't know. But I don't think Deontay, you can put Deontay over Terry right now. Realistically, you know, that's like from the outside view. As a Steelers fan, Deontay Johnson is better than Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase, definitely Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, all these people. Like Deontay is better than them. And if you want to trade for him, if a team wants to trade for Deontay is very good. Deontay is like damn near the GOAT. Like when people are growing up, it's either they were like an Odell fan, right? It's either they loved Odell or they love Deontay Johnson. You know, it's like tit for tat. So, I mean, you're going to have to come up off a first. It is what it is. But you're getting a first-round talent. He is. Deontay Johnson is very good. He's very good. But, unfortunately, if we got rid of Juju, man, like, who at one point, like, we went to the playoffs with Juju. That's when we were, like, 14-3, I think, and we lost to the Jaguars. But that was a good run. We were clicking on offense that year. Like we got rid of him, we got rid of Chase, we got rid of James Washington, we got rid of Ray McLeod. Like, you know, why not? But that also shows once again how good Deontay is we did get rid of all those people, and he somehow is still here. But yeah, I don't know. We still have him under contract for I think 2 more years. I don't know. We're probably not even gonna trade him. Like I'm just making this all up in my head. But I did want to say that. I wanted to get that out there because I feel like it's always just like me just like being upset with Deontay Johnson. But I think there's video. There might be video evidence of this at this point of me being like also praising him. So I don't know. But I just did what I wanted to talk about that. Next, Kenny Pickett. Let's get into it. Come on, Kenny Pickett, man. Kenny Pickett he's been playing good, man. And as a Pitt fan, I don't really talk about this much on these videos, but I do watch Pitt. I am a big fan of Pitt. And so, like, I saw Kenny in college and whatnot. And, like, at this point, I'm ready to say that Kenny Pickett won't lose us games. I'm ready to say that he won't be the problem. Now, he also, I don't know if he's going to be the reason. I don't know if he's going to be like the commander on offense yet. Like, I don't know if he's going to be in that top 5 range. But right now, I think he's playing good enough. I think he's playing good enough for us to, hey, like, let's go to next season with him, right? That's 2 years, right? Practically, because he didn't start, but that's 2 years, and then we'll see what happens from there. But then the year after that, maybe 4 years, that's his deal. I think he'll be able to see out his deal. Right now, that's my prediction. At the very least, I think we will have Kenny, and for the most part, be comfortable with Kenny. But we will see what ends up happening. But I think having Kenny on the team, we can improve on some other aspects of the team while Kenny is on his rookie deal, right? And then if he's not that good, I don't think we'll be Super Bowl contending immediately, like next year. Like, we'll see what happens, but I don't expect us to just all of a sudden be a quarterback away from a Super Bowl, because you know those good teams, right? You know those teams that are like really, like the Jets, for example, or the Broncos for the past 3 to 4 years, or I don't know, a few other teams that are like, oh man, if they just had a quarterback, I feel like those teams, it's not that simple, like just get a quarterback. But if we're going to be looked at in that light, like I just don't see that happening by next year. So I think Kenny will be able to just chill again. And then in year 3, maybe we're at that point. But I don't know. We'll see. But by like year 4, I think that's going to be like a real, hey, either you play well or we're going shopping or we're picking up somebody else. So I think that's what's going to happen. At this point, that is my prediction at this point. But that is once again a prediction. This is the 7th of December in 2022. If he ends up stinking, then my bad. I thought he wasn't going to stink. And if he ends up being like really, really good, then I knew it, man. I knew it. Because, he was nice at Pitt that 1 year. The other years were solid, but the one year, his last year on Pitt was like magical. And hey, man, he's got something. He's definitely got something. So we'll see. I think there's a better chance of him being like really good rather than really bad. But that's a different conversation. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's my prediction right now. That's how I'm feeling right now. And we don't need Deontay. Like, we don't need Deontay dropping the ball all the time, or George Pickens yelling at him, or not yelling at him, but just yelling about it when he's not getting the ball thrown. If we want to keep him, if we want to develop him, if we want it to be a non-toxic work environment, because if we get rid of Matt Canada and he has another offensive coordinator like following his second season, that kind of reeks of toxicity, in my opinion. We look at, we're the Steelers, so like we're kind of consistent, and like we're the standard is the standard, all that, all blah blah blah. So like we've been consistent for the most part, but like we look at other teams who are firing their offensive coordinators and shit all the time, and changing coordinators all the time. Like we're looking at that kind of weird. So if we do end up getting rid of Matt and we bring in another one, he has to be good. Absolutely has to be good, because there is no getting rid of him. There is no getting rid of him after a year. We'll have to at least have him for like 2 to 3. And by then, if he stinks, and our offense is still relatively bad, it could kill a quarterback's confidence. It could mess him up. So we definitely don't want that to happen. But with that said, guys, please don't hate me. And I'm sorry it took me so long to address this. I'm still rocking with getting a new offensive coordinator. I think that is the absolute must acquire. Like, we have to get a new offensive coordinator. I think we still got to do that. But Matt Canada is making it kind of hard because Kenny has been improving the past 4 games. If this trend continues, I don't know. I still want him gone regardless. But I'm just saying, speaking from the Steelers organization point of view, I could see them, wanting to stick around with him, man. I really could, because we're the Steelers and we want to be this model organization. We're like just like living through like the opinions of others. I think that's how we operate sometimes, man. The Steelers won't do some shit because that's crazy. Like trading a first round pick. Like, okay, we got Minka, but what about a couple years ago? Like when we were good, like when we had Big Ben, AB, Le'Veon, we had a first round pick every fucking year. Why didn't we trade it? Why didn't we try to get better? We've always been a team to not trade and not do shit because we're the Steelers and we do that. Like, I don't know. And now, it's like we don't realize that the league has changed, It's like, I know, we did make that Minka trade and we've been a bit more aggressive, but I mean, we're trading 4 draft picks now. I don't know. I think we should trade for players more, but it is what it is. But that's where the league is going. Like, we saw the Rams last year. Granted, this year it's not the best, but there has been some injuries and just overall, okay, the quarterback's been playing not the best, but other than that, their defense is still, I think, for the most part, all right. They traded for it and they got it. Who else was it? Tampa Bay, they got it. They were aggressive in free agency and shit and trades, and they got it. So I think at some point we should start trending more in that direction, but not get too crazy like the Carolina Panthers, for example, or the Broncos at this point, because they suck. I don't know what the Broncos are gonna do, man. That is a very, very tough situation over there in Denver. So yeah, I don't know what's up with Matt Canada. I don't know what we're gonna do, but if we end up with a winning season, the Steelers, they might not do it. They might not pull the trigger. It was looking a little guaranteed early on in the season, because we were playing really bad and losing a bunch of games we shouldn't have. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know what his contract situation is. If his contract is up, then maybe we just won't re-sign him. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Once again though, getting back to the Ravens game, I do expect a win. I really think we can beat them. I really think, especially no Lamar, I don't think they're not scoring the most points on offense, and yeah, shit, neither are we. But they play close, and I like our chances in a close game, especially against the Ravens, because once again, like I said earlier, I feel like in close games we've gotten them. I feel like in big situations where it's like playoffs or bust, we've gotten them. So I expect to win. I don't know. I never expect to sweep them. I always say it's going to be 1-1 in the regular season. And maybe we'll end up needing that win later on. But for right now, let's get the win now. We need the win. We're 5-7. We need the win now. Let's get it now, and then let's see what happens with the Ravens. So we will see. But anyways, guys, I think that is going to do it. We're approaching an hour. Probably going to be cut down a little bit, but I still think in the 50-ish minutes. I think that is going to do it. If I forgot anything, please let me know. And if you guys enjoyed a longer form of this, let me know, please. Once again, the Heir to the Throne, I think that was your channel name. Thank you for the comment. And thank you for giving me something to talk about. I hope it didn't seem negative. I didn't mean it like that. And if anybody else would like to comment and We can talk about some things, and I won't always like respond to it in like a video. Like I didn't mean it like that, but I don't know. I feel like it would be pretty cool to like get the topics on the videos, or the topics, like the questions or like the comments on the videos, and then we talk about that. We'll see. And then audio listeners, same thing with like the how can you, I guess, reviews, but I mean, if you want to review it, go ahead, but I think you can leave comments there, or if you would like to come to YouTube and comment, you're feel free to do that. If you can't listen to this, or if you couldn't listen to this on YouTube and you did head over to one of the other platforms, I appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully the audio was good. Hopefully you enjoyed. And everybody else, everybody as a whole, we're all one family, man. We're all Steelers fans. And if you're not a Steelers fan, then honestly, what are you doing? Because it's looking like the Steelers might fuck around and go to the Super Bowl. That's not even just me. That's what the comments are saying. That's what they're saying. That's what I am saying. We're going to the Super Bowl, man. Probably not, but there's a chance, right? There's always a chance. There's a better chance than there was in week 5 or 4 or 5 or around that mark. There's a way better chance now than there was at that point. So we'll see. We will see. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, all that fun stuff. I already talked about it. Do that. Ring the bell for notifications. And I will see you after the Ravens game. If we lose, I'm not going to be a happy camper.